It is said that research is to see what everybody else has seen, yet to think what nobody else has thought. With this novel thought of our research delegates and esteemed guidance of our resource person, Dr. Kishori Bhagat, I would like to welcome you all to the first technical session of Multidisciplinary National Conference on Emerging Trends in Commerce, Information Technology, Management, and Media. Before we begin our technical session, I would request Mr. Pratesh Somani to introduce our esteemed resource person, Dr. Kishori Bhagat.
Thank you so much, Diti ma'am. Good afternoon to one and all. I, Pritesh Somani, take this opportunity to introduce our resource person for the technical session, Dr. Kishori Jagdish Bhagat. Before I actually introduce ma'am, there is no term called as introduction which can tell the announcement of Dr. Kishori Jagdish Bhagat, an eminent academician with a teaching experience of more than 20 years. Ma'am is currently Associate Professor, Pragati College of Arts and Commerce. There is no such committee on which ma'am has not worked in college. Ranging from, you say, discipline, you say NSS committee, you say unfair committee, research committee, every single committee ma'am has worked. It is been said, people say, यार PhD करना बहुत difficult चीज, नहीं हो पाता है. Today, we have with us Dr. Kishori Bhagat ma'am, who has completed 2 doctorates, one in commerce, one in management. The journey doesn't stop here itself. Under her brilliant research guidance, 6 students have already been awarded the PhD degree. Research contribution of madam are not just restricted to geographical boundaries of India. Ma'am has presented papers in various international journals too. I would like to highlight over here, madam has presented a research paper titled Application of Green Work-Life Balance by Degree College Teachers to Teaching Faculty in Mumbai and suburbs of Mumbai at the 3-day international conference which was organized by London School of Management. Along with this, ma'am has authored different books in different subject areas, starting with financial accounting, strategic management, business ethics, modern methods and techniques in CRM. The list goes on. An active member on different university bodies, and finally a researcher by heart. Always ready. There is no such topic on which ma'am cannot guide us, ma'am cannot brief us. If given an opportunity, the day will be less to introduce. So without taking any more time, I hand over the stage back to Diti ma'am.
Thank you, Pritesh sir. Dear delegates, before we begin with our technical session, let us go through the rules. All the delegates are requested to present their research paper on the given slots. The duration of presentation is 10 minutes, 7 minutes for presentation and 3 minutes for question answer session. The delegates are requested to put on their video while presenting the PPTs. The PPTs will be shared by the organizers, but the delegates are requested to keep a soft copy ready in case of emergency. Delegates are required to be present throughout the conference. The Best Research Paper Award will be declared during the valedictory function. So let us start with our first presentation. Our first research delegate is Ms. Iyengar Suhasini.
Good morning, ma'am. Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you are audible.
Can I please share my screen?
Ma'am, you can just say next when you want the PPT screen to be changed. It will be changed from our end.
All right, great. Very good morning, Kishori ma'am. Good morning, everyone. Just 15 days back, when I was in an advertising lecture of semester 4, teaching them the concept of top of mind recall, I came across this word which said transit. The minute I said transit, students said advertising. And that's the power of the title of the paper which I'm presenting today. Challenges and prospects of transit advertising post COVID-19. Myself, Ms. Iyengar Subhashini Kannan, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, SIWS College of Commerce and Economics. Can I please go to the next slide? Okay. These are the objectives of my study. One, to understand the challenges of transit advertising in the present scenario, to evaluate the influence of transit advertising on creating brand awareness, to study the impact of transit advertising on buyers' purchase decision, and to analyze the recall value of brands using transit advertising. So I'll move on to the next slide, which basically talks about the key findings of my research. So when the respondents were asked as to may I request the organizers, the screen is very blurred. Can I share the screen from my end, sir? Will you please share the rights, because it's very blurred. I'm not able to see the screen. Hello?
Okay, ma'am, you can get the sharing right. You can ask for the sharing rights.
Yeah.
Through view options, you can ask for the sharing rights.
Just 1 second, sir. Can you see my screen?
No.
Just 1 second. I'm just asking you for the sharing right, because this is very blurred and I can't see it. अम्मू ये बोल रहे हैं व्यू ऑप्शन से शेयरिंग राइट मांग कैसे करने का देख ये बोल रहे हैं कि व्यू ऑप्शन से दे वांट मी टू रिक्वेस्ट फॉर शेयरिंग राइट कैन यू प्लीज सी वो बोल रहे हैं कि व्यू ऑप्शन से शेयरिंग राइट्स मांगने के लिए बिकॉज़ द स्क्रीन दैट ही इज प्रेजेंटिंग इज वेरी ब्लर्ड टू मी कैन यू प्लीज सर बोल रहे हैं कि आस्क फॉर अ शेयरिंग
मैम
Sir, just 1 second, sir.
Yes, ma'am. We are making you co-host.
Yeah, can you please make me co-host so that I can share my screen?
Yes. Give us a minute.
Sure.
You
Ma'am,
can.
Ma'am, you are the co-host now.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'll just begin in a moment. Okay. So basically, I was just saying that when I was discussing this word called transit in the class, and I was just trying to associate it with transit advertising, students immediately said advertising the minute I said transit. And that's the power of this medium of advertising, which is transit advertising. My topic hence is challenges and prospects of transit advertising post COVID-19. These are the objectives which I just read. These are the key findings of my research. The first question which was posed to the researcher, to the respondents were, which mode of transport do you take for traveling? And 69% people have said that they take trains, while 39% said that they travel by bus. What is the purpose of your travel? 58% of the students said that they travel for educational purpose, while 34% said that they travel for work. The next question which was posed was, how frequently do you travel? And 52% of the commuters travel on a daily basis, while 15% travel twice a week. How do you use your travel time? Now, that's a very important question for the research, and 37% of the population or the research respondents said that they use their travel time basically watching mobile or idling or reading or sleeping. What is the average time taken by you to travel? 36% of the respondents nearly said that they take less than half an hour, to travel, while majority, that is 45% of the respondents, answered that they take less than half an hour and more than half an hour and less than 1 hour to travel. How are you generally aware of the product? Television advertisements in terms of broadcast media definitely wins the battle. But what is important for us to also mark in this particular graph is that banners, posters, billboards, train advertisements, and buses, which is exactly by definition what transit advertisement is all about, plays a very important role in sending the message across to the target audience. What kind of advertisements do you see the most? 75% of the people have said that they like product related advertisements the most, or they watch product related advertisements the most, followed by social awareness campaigns. How often has your purchase decision been influenced by advertisements on public modes of transport? 62% of the respondents said that sometimes their purchase decision has been influenced by advertisements on public mode of transport. What catches your attention the most on advertisements which are displayed on public mode of transport? And maximum, that is 18% of the population of the people who have respondents have said that 18% go by the logo or the symbol of the brands. The others have opted for celebrity or colors, layouts, size, texture, etc. How do you feel upon watching the same ad repeatedly on public modes of transport? 50% of the people say that they still have a positive impact on purchase decision when they watch the ad repeatedly, while 33% say that they are irritated to watch the ad, which is very important for us as researchers at this particular juncture. Do you find advertisements on public transport creative? 51% have said that they find public transport or transit advertisements very, very creative. Do you find advertisements on public transport more effective than advertisements on other media? Again, a very important question here. 44% of the people have said that they're not too sure if they like transit advertisements more than the other media. Have you seen the same advertisements on other media, which is just to check the recall value of advertisements of transit advertising? And 31% of the people have said sometimes, while majority, that is 57%, have said that they have seen the same advertisement on the other media. Do you take the same route to travel every day, which is again very important for us as advertisers to analyze whether transit is a good choice to communicate the message to the target audience? And 66% people have said that they take the same route eventually every day. Which type of advertisements do you like the most? And 68% people have said that static advertisements are something which they are not very fond of. What they are interested in is 68% of the population of respondents who have said that they like advertisements which are moving. And that's precisely, by definition, the meaning of transit advertisement in current scenario. That is, post-COVID, we saw an example of a major social campaign which used bus as an important mode of transport for people to travel. And No Mask, No campaign was the most successful transit ad by far, though it was a social ad campaign. So that goes to prove more than what is said about transit advertising today. Hence, coming to the recommendations and conclusions, as advertisers, we all run back to the basics today. Post-COVID, attention, interest, desire, action still remains the base model, but how to create that awareness in a slightly different way when the population is moving, when the commuters are moving. So basically, we are targeting at people when they are on the move or mobile. So catching people there is a very important exercise. Till date, this media, that is out of home or transit advertising in specific, was always given a very stepmotherly or supplementary medium. But today, this supplementary treatment, which was given to these kind of advertisements before, has taken a complete 360-degree change. That is, today we see that people are more on the move, and hence advertisements in transit become the first most important awareness parameters, followed by the broadcast media. The most important challenge is to overcome the preoccupied commuters. Like you saw in this slide, majority people are busy in planning their day-to-day activities, or watching mobile, or reading something, or planning their day, or observing advertisements outside. What is more important is how to capture their attention is going to be a real challenge for days to come. And since people are not traveling, that adds on to the present challenge that I spoke about. There are huge prospects of out of home, especially transit, which can be used as a standalone media to attract the target audience. And finally, what is more important is that the advantages of transit advertising are huge in number to completely outperform any other form of communication, be it broadcast in terms of television or radio, or be it newspaper, magazines, journals, etc. With that, I would like to end my presentation on a very positive note that we all related COVID-19 to pain, pressure, and pandemic. Today, with these rising opportunities of marketers and advertisers, we can possibly look at it as a possibility, perseverance, and possibility. Thank you so much.
Kishori ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, would you like to ask questions?
No, we'll take everything at the end.
Okay, ma'am. Thank
Let
you.
all the presentations be over. Subhashini,
Yes,
good
ma'am.
afternoon. You
Good afternoon.
wished me, but that time I couldn't unmute myself.
Okay.
Okay, madam.
Yes,
Pritesh
ma'am.
sir, Nitin will complete with all the presentations, and at the end maybe I'll speak.
Okay,
Yeah,
ma'am.
But
Thank
at
you,
the
ma'am.
outset, let me thank Anna Lila College for giving me the opportunity to meet all these students, colleagues, what I should say, again, maybe on the online platform. So I would like to hear from you all first, and then we'll have a talk.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Our next delegate is
Shubhangi ma'am, please just stop sharing your screen.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Ma'am, I've stopped sharing.
Preeti ma'am, you're mute.
Preeti, unmute yourself.
yes, ma'am. Before we go to our next participant, I would like to request all the delegates to make sure that they do not exceed the time limit. Our next delegate is Mr. Sailesh Arondekar. Sir.
Am I audible, madam?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah. Good afternoon, all the learned resource persons. Myself, Assistant Professor Shailesh Anand Arondekar. I am working in Bhavna Trust Degree College, and I am having 8 years experience of teaching. Actually, earlier I was in some other field, but I joined a teaching field in the year 2012 due to passion of teaching. And this is my first. The name of my paper is, the topic is a study on perceptions towards tax planning among students in Mumbai city. Which wants to or she wants to reduce his or her tax burden and the benefits. Taxpayer can reduce their tax burden over the course of fiscal year, advantage of tax and in life. Young in financial independence for the first time, therefore, they could turn to overspending. The financial strategy will assist you in the expenses of inflation and building superannuation fund. Tax planning is the process of moving one's tax burden by making savings and investment decisions. The schedule
Sir, you are not audible.
Shailesh sir, your voice is not audible.
Sally sir, you are there?
Shailesh sir,
I think he is this. I think sir is disconnected. Can we start with the next presentation, ma'am?
Yes, Preeti.
Okay, ma'am. Our next delegate is Mr. Kishore Kumar Das. Sir, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I am here.
Sir, would you like to share the slides or should we share from our end?
No, I will share my screen from my side.
Okay, sir.
Just a minute.
Sir,
Okay.
shall we?
Is it visible? Is it visible?
No, sir.
Screen is not visible.
No,
your
sir.
screen- Sir, can we
Sir, Sir, please shall we share?
No, please, just a minute. I'm sharing it. You see, ma'am, I think right now it is visible.
No, sir, we cannot see your screen.
Yes, now it is visible, sir.
Now it's visible.
Now
Yes,
again
yes,
it's
yes.
gone, sir. Again it is disconnected.
Sir, right now, is it visible?
Now it's visible, sir.
Yes. So, am I audible and visible, sir?
Yes, sir, please go ahead.
Okay, fine. So, myself is Kishore Kumar Das. I am faculty in the Department of Botany in Balimala College of Science and Technology here in Odisha. This record, I am also an academic counselor of Journalism and Mass Communication Department with Odisha State OPE. So at the outset, let me congratulate the whole team of Bansang, Mumbai's Analila College of Commerce and Economics and Shobha Jayaram City College for BMS for organizing such a national conference and giving me a platform like this to present my paper. I am going to present my paper titled The Changing Face of Indian Social Media, Statistics and Facts. Yes. So coming to introduction. So that India has embraced the internet with open arms, and its digital population has been rapidly growing in the past decade to 680 million active internet users. What started with simple email correspondence now has expanded to a digital universe with social networking giants like Google, Facebook, Twitter becoming a part everyday life for millions of Indians. Digital technology driven social media changed the Indian media over the years. So here let me describe here that we know very well that this social networking, social media have taken the world by storm. Particularly in India, it is a fast growing phenomenon with more and more people, particularly the young generation, are getting connected due to the increasing penetration of internet in rural and urban areas. What is the objective of my paper? The present paper highlights the scenario of social media with reference to WhatsApp and Facebook in India. It also studies how the social media users are concentrated in major urban centers. Thirdly, the study exhibits the comparison of Facebook use with the traditional media and how social media demographics vary across the states of India. Finally, in the end, it talks about the ways how social media have changed the Indian politics. Now, what is so primary and secondary data were collected with reference to WhatsApp and Facebook users across India, in both urban and rural areas, and compiled to reach at a certain conclusion. Yes. There are 448 million social media users in India as of January 2021. India increased by 78 million between 1 and 2021. The number of social media users in India was equivalent to 32.3% of the total population in January 2021. Next, social network user penetration in India, that is from 2015 to 2020, forecast until 2025. So, that
Sir, are you there?
Sure,
Sir?
sir.
hello.
Sir, you are not audible.
Right now, am I audible, ma'am?
You are audible, sir, but your screen can't be hard. You are visible, but your screen
Yes,
can't be seen, sir.
Okay, okay, just some technical glitches. I think right now the screen is visible.
No, sir, your screen is not seen.
Kishore sir, I'll
Uh,
just advise you one thing. Actually, due to internet connectivity, it is happening. You are sharing the screen also,
Yes.
your video is also on, as well as you are speaking to. That's why it is consuming too much of network. So if we try sharing
Okay.
screen from our side and you just speak up, will that be working with you?
Okay, then fine. Sir?
Yeah, yes, sir. Will that be working with you?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So, shall I continue, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, you can continue as a screen is shared.
Kishore sir, please from your side, you stop sharing so that we can share your PPT over.
Okay, then, yes, I stopped sharing screen from my side.
Okay, thank you.
You please, sir. Okay. Ma'am, it is not actually, it is not clear. The screen is not clear.
Sir, we will share the slides from here. Over there, you can refer to your slides.
Okay, okay, fine, fine, fine. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. So what happened? I was referring to the social network users penetration in India from 2015 to 2020 with a focus until 2025. You can see that this year 2021, 54.58% of the total Indian population are the social network users. Then number of social network users in India from 2015 to 2018 with a forecast until 2023. So here you can see in 2021, near about 400.3 million people are the social network users, and it is likely to go up in the years to come. Yes. The number of social network users in selected countries in 2020 and 2025. You can see that, so India is the second social media market with 490.3 million users of social media right now. China is the first with 926.84 million social media users. So India ranks second so far as the social network of social media users is concerned. Next is, you can see that how the social media has changed the face of the traditional or the conventional Indian media. You can see, so WhatsApp, number of WhatsApp users in India are about 53 crores, followed by YouTube 44.8 crores, Facebook 41 crores, Instagram 21 crores, Twitter it is 1.75 crores. Then coming to the number of internet users in India. You can see what was the number of internet users in India in June 20, and you can see how it's steadily been rising from then since 2021. So you can see right now into 2021 June. So total number of users in India stands at 800 million. Now, countries on the best audience size as of January 2021. I have made it very clear from the beginning that my paper is based on that how the social media have changed the face of the traditional Indian media, special reference to WhatsApp and Facebook. You can see that near about 320 million Facebook users are in India,
Excuse
followed
me,
by
sir.
United States 19. Please, hello, ma'am.
Sir, it is just that 10 minutes are already up, so you can just hurry up a little.
Okay, just 1 minute. I will wind up. Okay. So this is all about the Facebook. And coming to the WhatsApp, the countries ranked by the largest audience. So I am discussing about the 10 WhatsApp countries ranked by the largest audience. So you see near about here also, when it comes to WhatsApp, so near about 400 million users of WhatsApp are there in India. Not 400, it is up to 340 million. And what was the finding of my research? What I found from my research paper that there is huge penetration of internet, which has resulted in the rise of social media uses, thereby changing the face of conventional Indian media. Then coming to conclusion, digital media has changed the way political parties interact with voters, bridging the gap like never before. Given today's era of increasing social media use and growing internet penetration due to the increased usage of smartphones on the one hand and saturation of traditional media on the other, digital media offers the perfect platform for political parties to reach audience worldwide. Thank you. So with this, I come to the end of my research. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next delegate is Ms. Shobha Konkane. Ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Ma'am, if it is okay, we will be sharing the slides. For your reference, you can put it on at your place.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Okay, ma'am.
One and all present over here. Shall I start, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Very good morning to one and all present over here. I myself, Mrs. Shobha Kailash Kokne, thanks to the Anna Lila College and other dignitaries of the college for providing me the opportunity to present myself. This is my first paper which I am presenting. I am a little nervous. If something gets wrong, please. I am working in Kothari College of Management Studies under BMS faculty. I am a BMS faculty. It's in Mumbai. My paper name is Study on Consumer Preference and Perception of Soft Drinks in Mumbai City. Actually, coming to the introduction, as we say, soft drinks are one of today's most common items which has been used in the market. There are different categories, there are different brands available in the market. It is attractive towards the people. It has so much of influences. There are different types of advertisements have been done for the soft drinks today. Objective of the paper is to find out the perceptions and factors influencing towards the consumer behavior towards soft drinks, and we have the study and suggestions for finding of the research. Next slide, please. Okay, there are limitations also because there are a lot of rivalry in between the different types of brand. As we have known that different types of things are happening between different brands, as Pepsi and Coke has altogether rivalry factors. Manipulations are also there in buying decisions. As we say, Coca-Cola is the name of the brand, but O-Cola is also there. There are different types of manipulations which have been done during the marketing sector and providing different types of products in the market in name of soft drinks. Next slide, please. Research methodology we have used the primary data was collected through a structured questionnaire from 100 respondents of Mumbai city of all age groups, and convenient sampling technique is adopted. Explanatory research, statistical tools are also being used, and there are different type of frequencies giving the answer related to the soft drinks. This is the statistical data. It is clearly telling us there are different types of variations in the data. We have got so many questions asked in the questionnaire that would you prefer the soft drinks based on quality, price, flavor, color, taste, health. So there are different types of answers which we have received percentage accordingly. We received soft drinks which are of lower price. Many of the people have disagreed that we don't purchase a soft drink for getting a lower price. Quality matter has been agreed by number of people. Flavor and taste they have agreed. Again, health content is the most powerful thing which they have agreed. Advertisement through different types of idols like actors, actresses, and sport persons. Many of them have influenced by the advertisement done by people like many dignitaries, VIPs as we say. Statistical data is telling about that. The next slide, please. A hypothesis which we have carried forward was between there is no association between the gender and buying perception towards soft drinks, and there is an association between gender buying and perception towards the soft drink. As a result, we have seen that many of there is a the result of two-tailed independent samples. The t-test was significantly based on the alpha value of 0.05, okay, 98, that is 3.25, p 0.002, indicating the null hypothesis can be rejected. This finding suggests the mean of buying perception was significantly different between male and female categories of gender. As we can see the graph, the male people are using soft drinks are more as compared to the female. That means there is a gender perception, buying perception in the gender. Okay, but coming to the conclusion, finally, the research was conducted to understand perception and factors that influence consumer behavior towards soft drink. Findings actually suggesting that the buying perception related to soft drinks and was significantly different between male and female. There is no gender equality in that. The data clearly shows that soft drink products are more popular due to their taste, color, good taste, as we say, color in order to capture the majority of the market. In today's world, the consumer depends supreme because he or she has a plethora of options available to them. There are different types of options available to them, and marketing strategies also been there to attract the customer through different types of advertisements. If a company is unable to provide them within the desired outcome, they will be undoubtedly turned to another supplier, as we say, Pepsi or Coke or Fanta, or many of them are there in the market. As a result, in order to survive this fierce rivalry, business must be among the best. Like quality must not be compromised on any factor. There are different types of references which we have taken. Okay, at the last, I would like to thank all of you who are present and who have heard me calmly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next presenter is Miss Rashna Patel. Ma'am, are you there? Miss Rashna Patel?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, I'm there.
All right, ma'am. Ma'am, will share the screen?
You will share, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, we'll share.
Okay, ma'am. Will you start now, ma'am?
Diti ma'am, you're mute.
Ma'am, there is a little technical error. Will you be able to share it from your end?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, ma'am.
Are you getting it, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so very good morning to everybody. Right at the beginning, I would like to thank the Anna Leela College for organizing this virtual conference and for giving us an opportunity to present our research work here. My name is Rashna Patel. I teach psychology in the Wilson College. I teach in a philosophy department, and this work is a part of my PhD work. The title of my research is Selfhood Contributes to Subjective Well-Being Among Youth in Mumbai. Subjective well-being is an area of research in psychology, and it tries to understand people's evaluations of the quality of their life. It consists of three components, which are positive affect, negative affect, and life satisfaction. Positive affect and negative affect are the emotional component, and life satisfaction is the cognitive component of subjective well-being. These are all separable constructs, and we can use either of them, any of them, or all of them in a research study. Subjective well-being is a term which is often used interchangeably with happiness. Another variable that I have used in the study is self-construals. Self-construals refer to our sense of self. Everybody has a sense of self, and every individual's sense of self can broadly be a sense of self which is independent of the social environment, or it is interdependent with the social environment. So an individual who values his autonomy, his self-assertion, is likely to be independent of the social environment. A person who refers to others, considers their emotions, takes their goals into consideration before making his decisions, is likely to have an interdependent sense of self. Culture also influences our sense of self, and cultures can be individualistic like Western cultures or collectivistic like Eastern cultures. India is borderline. It is neither very individualistic nor is it very collectivistic. Life satisfaction is a component of subjective well-being. It is a cognitive component of well-being, and it is based on our appraisal of the quality of our life. It is also a stable component of subjective well-being. Happiness is a feeling of joy, contentment, well-being, pleasure, positivity. So the variables that I have used in the study can come under independent variables, which are the independent self-construals and the interdependent self-construals. And the study aims at looking at the effect of these self-construals on life satisfaction and happiness. Happiness levels in India are dropping, and this can be seen in the reports that are coming out every year on happiness, and therefore I undertook this study. So the sample of my study was 88 college students from the arts in Mumbai. All of them were between the age of 18 to 24 years. And the levels of happiness and life satisfaction were measured. The relationship between independent and interdependent self-construals and happiness, and relationship between self-construals and life satisfaction was measured. The main hypotheses were that the self-construals will be correlated or associated with life satisfaction and with happiness. The three questionnaires that I used were all standardized questionnaires, which were the satisfaction with life scale, the revised Oxford happiness scale, and the Singley self-construal scale. Statistical analysis was descriptive statistics, Pearson's product moment correlation, and regression analysis. Some of the results broadly were that the average respondent was found to be slightly happy and slightly satisfied with life. The independent and the interdependent self-construals were both correlated with life satisfaction, but higher correlations were obtained for independent self-construals with life satisfaction. Positive correlations were also obtained between independent and interdependent self-construals and happiness, but they were weaker than the correlations that were obtained with life satisfaction. Nobody reported extreme happiness, but 12% of the sample reported extreme life satisfaction. And a large number of the respondents fell below the average category on both the scales of life satisfaction and happiness. And that was a very startling finding. Now, the limitations of the study were the small sample size. Students from only arts participated, and they were all undergraduates. The implications of the study are that we need to be aware of the dissatisfaction of our youth. We also need to find out about what areas of dissatisfaction are of concern. So the study did not find out what are the areas of dissatisfaction. Is it education? Is it family? Is it the prospect of finding a job very difficult? So the areas of dissatisfaction need to be researched, and better communication needs to be established with our youth, between the teachers, the parents, and the youth. We also need to look at how we can nurture a sense of self which enables our youth to be more autonomous, self-reliant, and to have a sense of agency, which is very much required in our modern world. We also need to revisit our cultural norms to see whether we are emphasizing and nurturing a sense of self which values autonomy, which values self-reliance, and which is a sense of self which believes in itself, which believes in one's own competence. A little bit of rethinking of the education system is required, and we need to focus more upon establishing independent thinking in our youth. uh, a better uh, a better sense of uh, a better sense of self would contribute to a sense of agency, ability to take initiative, action, and this would probably reduce dissatisfaction and increase life satisfaction. So some of the references that I have used in the study. Thank you very much for a patient hearing.
Thank you, ma'am. I would request the next delegate is Mr. Prathamesh Parkar. Sir, are you there?
Yes, I'm
Yes.
there.
So can you share your screen?
Yeah. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
Prathamesh sir.
sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Just a minute. Okay. So my topic for today's conference is teachers' perception and experience about the work from home during the lockdown, with special reference to the colleges which are affiliated to Mumbai University. Myself is Mr. Prathamesh Upakar. I am assistant professor in Anna Lila College of Commerce and Economics, Shobha Jairam Shetty College for BMS. Uh, in nowadays, the physical location of a working place has been gradually losing its importance thanks to the growth in internet and data technology. The work from home is referred as a concept of working in a person where teachers do not have to commute to a central or single place of work. This coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic has led biggest number of teachers globally to remote work remotely. Many of the teachers nowadays are equipped with the computers, laptop, mobile phones, or other similar gadgets with good internet connectivity for online teaching. This made performing from home easier also as feasible to perform tasks and certain reduced the employer cost of providing such arrangements. The outcome of those arrangements contain both positive aspects as well as negative aspects. So let us go more into the positive and negative aspects. The positive aspects, there is more opportunity to focus on their work task because of the singularity. There is a greater flexibility. The teacher can allot the time to their particular task at any moment of a day. There is more autonomy in working, which is likely to be associated with the more productivity. There are also negative aspects. We are losing the regular face-to-face interaction with our students, with co-workers. This is significant reduction is there. There are less monitoring um, over the teachers. Also, there is a decreased control by the colleagues or supervisor. This is the crucial drawback from the labor from home. Moving further, review of literature, Crosby and Moore in 2004 concluded that the home working wasn't panacea for contemporary working life. Careful consideration should tend aspiration and personality skills to those who are thinking of working from home. Gajendra and Harrison in 2007 revealed that their study is it's difficult to watch workers' efforts reception, especially when occasionally being interrupted by private responsibility and relations. Evidence on the productivity effects of labor from home is inconclusive, but seems to suggest positive effects more often than the negative effects. The Shivsan and Wolfers in 2019 investigated that relying on interaction between work and private life work from home could be more or less favorable to overall life satisfaction. Amabile and Kramer in 2013 find out that employment for house is helping the teachers to balance and differentiate their paperwork with their routine work. The study also added that employment from home saves the time, increases the productivity, finishes the target on time, and also helps the teachers to offer time for his or her personal life. Go in 2016 stated that the main target on major failures and dark side of labor from home, the cultural differences faced during the webinars by the teachers, work from home creates a huge gap in a communication between super and thus the subordinates. Moving on, the objective of this study is to know the views of teachers towards the work from home and to study the willingness of the teacher to do work from home. The research methodology. This study is based on the responses of 60 respondents who are working from home belonging to different undergraduate colleges affiliated to University of Mumbai during COVID-19 pandemic. This data is collected during April 2021, this time frame when all the teachers are compelled to teach through online mode and almost a year is passed through online mode. All the respondents of this study are working from home since 1 year continuously. Various journals, websites, newspaper reports are also used to collect the secondary data. In our research, we have found out that 47% male and 53% female teachers responded. The age group of teacher between 20 to 30, 36 teachers were there, 30 to 40, 15, 40 to 56 teachers, and 50 to 63 teachers were there. When we ask the willingness to do from work from home, there are 8% who strongly disagree, 23% who disagree, 62% agrees, and 7% which will strongly agree. The numbers are corresponding to the table. Now, here, those who are agree to the willing to work from home, out of them, 13 do not like the work from home. Whereas in the 14 respondents who disagree from willing to work from home, 3 of them actually like the working from home. So you can see from this table. Among the total respondent, 35%, that is 21 teachers and married, and 65%, that is 39 teachers, are single. With regard to willingness from work from home, from among 21 respondents who are married, 7 respondents disagree, 3 respondents strongly disagree, 9 respondents agreed, and 2 respondents strongly agreed. The same question is asked to the unmarried people. Out of these 39 respondents, 7 respondents disagree and 1 respondent strongly disagree. 28 respondents agreed and 3 respondents strongly agreed. So majority of married teachers are not willing to do work from home compared to those who are unmarried. It was also found that teachers who are having children are not willing to work from home compared to those who are not having the children. 78.33% teacher found the difference between working from home and working from college. There are also a question of comments on working from home culture. There are positive as well as negative comments. I have extracted few of them. The one teacher said that flexibility has increased while doing work from home compared to work in college. Other teachers said the work from home saves the traveling time. We can spend that extra time with the family. Few respondents said the preparation time is increased, but we can produce a material which can be utilized over the years with the minor changes. The negative comments includes one of the teachers said that the work assigned was not of the nature which can be done from the home. Another teacher claimed that eye-to-eye contact is missing. We don't know whether students are listening to us or not. 4 of them said that one cannot put their 100% while doing work from home as compared to working from the college. Majority of teachers said that preparing presentation and other study material needs extra time. Doing work from home, conventional method required less preparation time. Testing of the hypothesis. The first hypothesis was the willingness to work from home is dependent on gender and presence of their children at home. To test this hypothesis, chi-square test is used. The computed value of P is 0.17, which is greater than alpha, which 0.05. Hence, this null hypothesis that willingness is independent of gender and presence of children is accepted. In H2, comfortable space at home, quietness, and working a good internet connectivity influence teachers' willingness to do work from home. Again, we use the chi-square test. The p-value is 0.001, which is less than alpha, which is 0.005. Hence, that null hypothesis is rejected, and alternate hypothesis that comfortable and quiet spaces and good internet connection at home influence the teacher's willingness to do work from home is accepted. Coming to the conclusion, the study addressed the need to understand the experience of teachers working from home and how environment at home affects their working. Given the results of current study, respondents working from home will be working from home happily if they are having a good and supporting environment to work from home. Employers should help the teachers to set up supportive and controlled work environment, which may result in many more teachers are willing to work from home. Even after pandemic is curbed, there should be equal scope given to the promote work from home and thereby having high job satisfaction. These are some references of the data, and thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Shailesh, sir, are you there?
Yes, madam, I am there.
Okay.
Can you please share the PPT from your end?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please, madam.
Yes.
Hello.
Sir,
Am I
shall we
audi-
start?
Yes, yes, madam. Yes.
All right, so you're audible.
Yes, yes. Thank you, madam. Myself, Assistant Professor Shailesh Anand Arundekar. I am having 8 years experience of teaching accountancy, finance, and taxation. And this is my first research paper that I am presenting. Next slide, please. The name of my topic is a study on perceptions towards tax planning among students in Mumbai city. Next slide, please. Introduction. An individual must do proper tax planning if he or she wants to reduce his or her tax burden and maximize the benefits. A taxpayer can reduce their tax burden over the course of a fiscal year by taking advantage of number of tax credits, deductions, exemptions with proper tax planning. Financial planning should start early in life because young people are experiencing financial independence for the first time and therefore they could be prone to overspending. Financial strategy will assist you in dealing with the consequences of inflation and building a superannuation fund. Next slide, madam. Literature review. Since the idea is relatively new in India, only a few studies have been performed. As a result, an attempt has been made to investigate college students' perception of tax planning. Ronald C. Gable, sorry, madam. Ronald C. Gable discovered that each person must be responsible for his or own financial that each person must be responsible for his or own financial decisions in a report on individual investment and financial planning. Another study by Dr. G. Thimaiya laid the theoretical groundwork for tax design and reform ideas. Sunny Kutty Thomas in 1998 looked into tax planning activities among Kerala's salaried population to see how well they knew about and followed the tax planning scheme. There is a connection between the tax planning awareness and assessment age according to the findings. Munir in the year 2002 looked into the awareness of tax planning techniques and investment patterns used by college and university department teachers to take advantage of tax benefits under the Internal Revenue Code. In a study conducted by Rini Hestuti in the year 2014, this study looked into the students' perception of how important tax is and how much they should learn because it is unavoidable burden. So one study found that people who were well educated, updated when they are young, more likely to take action to create wealth later in life. Next slide, madam. Objective of this study is to measure the perception of individual towards tax planning among college students. Then to appraise the effect of factors like age and gender on perceptions of individual towards tax planning and to offer suggestions and findings of the study. Next slide, madam. Limitations of the study. Due to time and resource constraints, the study's research area is limited to Mumbai only. The data generated by the students is solely focused on their own perceptions. The actual expression of respondents is the basis for consistency and reliability of the data obtained. The current findings may not be generalizable, as different outcomes may be obtained as a result of people's perception in different cities. Next slide, madam. Research methodology. The data that has been collected is through primary as well as secondary data. The primary data have been collected through a well-structured questionnaire comprising optional type and Likkert's 5-point scale type questions. Secondary data is referred from internet, books, magazines, journal, newspapers, etc. The data is collected from the randomly selected colleges of arts, science, and commerce in Mumbai. Total 267 samples were collected through a well-structured questionnaire from the colleges of Mumbai city, and the statistical tools like percentage, mean, reliability statistics, and Kruskal Wallis test were used to analyze the data with the help of SPSS. Next slide, madam. Hypothesis of the study. There is no connection, no association between age of the respondent and perceptions towards text planning among college students. An alternative hypothesis is there is association between age of respondents and perceptions towards text planning among college students. Next slide, madam. Okay. In the questionnaire, the first question, budgeting and keeping financial records are essential for tax planning. The answers 50% agreed to this and 41% strongly agreed to the question that budgeting and keeping financial records are essential for tax planning. One must know the income tax rules and regulations. 38% agreed and 52% agreed that one must know the income tax rules and regulations. Do you freely discuss with others regarding financial planning? So 31% agreed to it and 40% were neutral, that they do not feel free to discuss with others regarding financial matters. And do you take information from all authenticated sources and keep yourself updated regarding income tax? So 44% is agreed to that and 36% strongly agreed that they must try to take information from all authenticated sources for understanding tax planning. Then proper tax planning will significantly reduce your income tax liability. Yes, 40% agreed to that and 34% strongly agreed to that proper tax planning is very pervasive for reducing the income tax liability. Tax planning highly essential in today's dynamic world. Yes, 44% agreed to that and 39% strongly agreed to that. Tax saving can add to your income. Yes, 40% agreed to that and 27% strongly agreed, whereas 23% were neutral about this question. Everyone must acquire basic tax planning knowledge. Yes, 46% agreed, 39% strongly agreed, 12% were neutral. The hardest thing in the world is to understand income tax. Yes, 26% agreed and 20% strongly agreed that it is hardest thing in the world to understand income tax. Knowledge of tax planning will help us to escape unnecessary delay and the penalty. So 42% agreed to that and 32% strongly agreed that knowledge of tax planning is necessary to avoid penalty imposed by government agencies. Basic tax planning subject must be included in non-commerce based courses. So 40% agreed to that and 32% strongly agreed that this tax planning subject should also be added to non-commerce based courses also. The conclusion earlier, the result of the Kruskal Wallis test were significant based on an alpha value of 0 and p is equal to 0.0448, indicating that mean rank of tax planning was significantly different between the levels of age. Next slide, madam. Given the above background, the current study was being carefully carried out to determine students' perception of tax planning. As every country's future depends on young and vibrant population, taxpayers normally only plan to pay their tax bill at the end of the fiscal year, and as a result, taxpayers are unable to make prudent investment decisions to minimize their tax liability. Even among the eligible assessors, the main cause of the issue is lack of knowledge of taxation laws and complexities in the present tax law interpretation. Next slide, madam. The result of the Kruskal values test were significant based on an alpha value, and p is equal to 0.048, indicating that mean rank of tax planning was significantly different between the levels of age. The finding of this study will help educators, regulators, and financial institutions to identify critical areas that will assist in educators, regulators, financial institutions in designing tax planning courses that will be best support adults in achieving financial independence and being well prepared for retirement. So there is no association between the age of respondents and perception towards tax planning among college students. Next slide, please. Thank you, madam. Madam, I would like to take the opportunity to thank the college for giving me an chance to present my first research paper here, and I would definitely mention my senior in earlier college, in Bhavna Trust College, Professor Vidya Darvish madam, who helped me to prepare this presentation, to prepare this paper. And I would also like to mention my senior colleague, Professor Nabha Maheshwari, who prepared this PPT, because I am not having computer or laptop at my home, and cyber cafes are also closed. So I thank everybody for patient listening. This is my first paper. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, sir. Our next delegate is Ms. Rupa Patel Karnik. Ma'am, are you there? Ms. Rupa Patel Karnik. Ma'am, Rupa ma'am.
Yeah. Actually, it was not allowing me to unmute myself. Now it is. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, will you be sharing your slides?
It will be fine if you share the screen.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Should I share?
Yes, ma'am. Please share it from your side.
Okay, will do.
Yeah.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah, can I? A very good morning to, a very good morning to all. This is Rupa Patel, a research scholar at SNDT Women's University, Mumbai, and an assistant professor at Annalila College of Commerce and Economics. My topic of presentation is review of neural network hyperparameters and hyperparameter optimization approaches. This is the outline of my presentation. Okay, so machine learning is a basics of artificial intelligence, right? So what it does, it accepts the input from the user, process it, and then gives the result. So artificial neural network
is a branch of machine learning. So if you look at the diagram, this model is nothing but your artificial neural network. Now, artificial neural network, it consists of input layer, it consists of hidden layer and the output layer. So input layer, it accepts the input. The input can be your image data. The hidden layer, what it will do, it will extract the information from that complex data, process it, and the output layer will give you the predicted output. Okay, so if you are looking at the diagram, the input data can be your image data. Here we have considered the input data as an X-ray chest images. This data set is pre-processed and given to the network model where it is being trained, right? Now, if you look at this circle, these circles are nothing but the neurons, right? Those input layer, in the input layer, the neuron will accept the input data as it is. That is a pre-processed data. The hidden layer, what it will be doing, it will be pre-processing, it will be extracting the information from those complex data, right? So in doing that, each neuron of the network will be associated with a weight, right? So each neuron in each layer is connected with other neuron of the adjacent layer. And meanwhile, it will be extracting the information. Once it is done, the output will be given to the output layer, which from where it will be giving the output. Now this neuron, this neural network model will be trained, and once it is trained, you can give the input, you can give the any X-ray chest images, and you will get the output, right? So this diagram typically depicts the machine learning approach. Now how the particular single neural network looks like. Now this is a single neuron which takes the input, that is x1, x2, x3, these are the input. Associated with each neuron, they are the weights, right? So summation of this weight, that is the summation of this weighted weight plus the bias is given as an input to the activation functions, where the activation function will normalize the input and the output will be given. Now, if you look at this weighted W1, W2, W3, these are the weights, and B is a bias, right? Bias is a constant which helps us to normalize your output. So bias and the weights, they are the learnable parameters of the networks, and they keep on updating while you are training the network, so that while learning the information from the complex data, it will be updating the information so that it will give you the correct output. So bias and the weights, they are called as a learnable parameters of the network that are updated during the networking. Now, when we are designing a neural network, it is very important that you should design the structure in a proper manner so that you will get an optimal data. So ultimately, your aim is to design an optimal data neural network structure, right? So hyperparameters, they are the external to the network, but they influence the training of the network, because if you are giving the training to the network, and if it is correct with the optimal parameter, then only it will be help you to give the correct predicted output, right? So these hyperparameters can be divided into two categories. One that determines the network structure, that is how your network structure will look. How many numbers of layers are there? When I'm talking about the number of layers, that is how many number of hidden layers should be there. The more the number of hidden layers, the more complex information can be extracted, and the more accurate information can be predicted. So that's the number of layer. Number of filters or the kernels. This is nothing but a matrix. And this filter is used to extract the features from the input data. Then the size of the kernel is matter. It can be 1x1, 3x3, or 5x5. Then the activation functions, it is used to normalize the data. And then one more factor that is there is a padding. That is, if you added an extra 0 rows and column to the input data, so that every detail from the corner or from the edges of the data can be extracted. So these are the parameters that determine the network structure. Now there are other parameters that determine how the network can be trained. So these are the learning rate. So the less the number of learning rate, the more accurate the information can be extracted. Batch size, that is the number of samples that can be used for training the network. Number of epoch means number of iterations that will be used for training the network. Right. So not only the hyperparameter is important, but how you are selecting them, how you are making a combination of those hyperparameter does influence the network, right? So there are two approaches. One is your manual approach, another one is a search approach. There are three approaches: Bayesian, gradient, and random approach. You can follow any of this approach. For this study purpose, we have used a manual approach. Now, this is the proposed methodology that we have used for our study. We have first collected the data, that is X-ray chest data. We have collected it from the Kaggle database. Then we have processed the data, because data the images can be of varying size. So we have processed it. We have made it in a 224 cross 224 data, and we have converted into the RGB color format, right? Then we have used a pre-trained model. Now there are a number of pre-trained model that was proposed by the researchers. Going through one of the paper, I came across one of the pre-trained model, that is Alex. So I used another pre-trained model, that is VGGA16. Then I have customized it. That is, I have modified the trained model. I have to classify to fit according to my study. Then we have trained the model, and once my model is trained, then I have given an input to that model, and then predicted image is given. So this is the experimental results and the discussions. I have used a manual approach first. I have used the parameters that determine the training of the network. So I have told you that there are two categories. So I'm using the second category. So pre-trained model that I have used is a VGGA16. I have used a batch size, that is a 32. Learning rate and the number of epochs are changing. The values are changed. So I have considered two cases. In the first case, the learning rate is 0.003. The number of epoch, that is number of iteration that I have performed on the model is 5. The training accuracy that I got is 0.87. That is 87% training accuracy is there. Now what we did, training accuracy and validation accuracy is what? Training accuracy determines how many number of samples that you have used to train a model, and validation accuracy is once the model is trained, how accurate your answer will be there. So that is your validation accuracy. So after, in the first case, the validation accuracy is 0.85, that is 85%. So in the next case, we change the learning rate, we change the number of epoch. So now the training accuracy is improved. It is 98%, and the validation accuracy is also improved, that is 90%. And according to the researcher says that if your accuracy is more than 90%, then it's a good model, it's a fit model for predicting any classification. So this is the conclusion of my study. It says hyperparameter influences the way the networks are trained, and the network accuracy depends on the proper selections of this parameter. Now, once this model is trained, once this is able to predict the data, then what are the application areas? It can be used in any medical healthcare domain. It can be, because it does not include substantial cost. It can be used for X-ray imaging in radio department. So if you have this trained model in your system, and if you have an X-ray of your chest, then you can just give that image to this model. It will tell you whether you are COVID positive or COVID negative. Okay, so the first stage it can be done, and it will automatically help the professionals or the specialists to make the further arrangement for the treatment. So this is the most important application area that we have. These are some of the references that I have used for my study. Thank you so much. I'm open for the questions if there are any.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah, should I stop sharing? Should I stop sharing? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So, Ms. Rupa Patel Karnik was the last presenter for technical session first. So, we thank all the delegates, and it was indeed a very good session. I would now request our resource person to review the session as well as to guide the delegates about research. Ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Preeti.
Thank you, ma'am.
It was indeed a good opportunity for me to listen to all of y'all. And all papers were really very good. Lot of insight into different topics also. Yeah. Taking the opportunity, like I always say, that being on the other side, I always take the opportunity to tell you all that please take the whatever suggestions or whatever I'm saying in a very, very positive note. 2-3 students were there or participants were there who were presenting for the first time. And it was really great listening to them. And it wasn't like they were presenting for the first time. Papers were really good. Overall, I won't see, I don't believe in, categorizing and specifying any particular person as such. Subhashini was there, Sailesh was there, Kishore Kumar Das was there, Shobha Madam, Rachana Patel, Prathamesh, Rupa. All were very good. Now, overall, I would like to give certain tips, you can say, which all the participants, irrespective whether they are presented here or not, or they will be presenting later in another session as well. So whenever there is research, see, take a pen and paper and write it down. This will be very, very helpful to you when you are presenting any paper or you are doing any type of research. You should concentrate on 3 C's. You should be concise. That means precise and brief. Second is concise doesn't mean it should be incomplete. So the second C is complete. Your presentation should be complete. And third, complete doesn't mean, you should go on dragging one particular thing, whether it is introduction or other things. It should be clear, clarity. So 3 C's according to me are concise, clarity, and complete. So it should be clear, it should be precise, complete. These 3 C's, if you follow, you would be benefited a lot. This is one. Second, please write down that whenever you are doing research, please understand, dear participants, that whenever we say research, there is a problem. So if there is no problem, then you don't have to do research. It is just collection of information. Please understand the difference between research and collection of information, right? So research means there is a problem. So you have to very clearly state that in your title. You have to clearly put it in your title, and your research problem also should be clear. So whenever you say a problem, then there will be a hypothesis. Then you will test the hypothesis and then you will give the suggestion. There should be an entire complete chain. All the things are related. So the format should be very clear of a research paper. Research paper या presentation में there should be title, objectives, क्योंकि क्यों पढ़ रहे तुम लोग, why you are doing this research, so objectives must be there, scope must be there. वो आपको बचाता है कि ये हमने पढ़ा, ये हमने नहीं लिया है, limitations बताता है. So there should be scope and limitations. There should be hypothesis. The days are gone when only secondary database research चलता था, just copy paste or putting things, presenting it in your own manner. अब प्राइमरी डेटा को भी हम लोग ने थोड़ा सा वेटेज उसमें देना चाहिए, काफी सारा वेटेज देना चाहिए एक्चुअली. सो हाइपोथेसिस होना चाहिए, टेस्टिंग ऑफ हाइपोथेसिस होना चाहिए. Things have becoming very simple for you all these days. Google फॉर्म बनाओ, तुमको कहीं जाने का जरूरत नहीं है, तुम्हारे पास पूरा डेटा प्रोसेसिंग करके एनालाइज करके विद ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन, पाई डायग्राम सब कुछ आ जाता है. फिर तुम्हारा कंट्रीब्यूशन क्या है? सो तुम्हारा कंट्रीब्यूशन है कि तुम उसको एनालाइज करते हो, इंटरप्रेट करते हो. सो व्हेन यू आर एनालाइजिंग, व्हेन यू आर इंटरप्रेटिंग द डेटा, देन कम्स योर कंट्रीब्यूशन. तो इसीलिए रिसर्च तुमको बहुत क्लियर पता होना चाहिए. रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम पता रहेगा तो यू कैन गिव द सजेशंस. Then your findings, suggestions, and then you should conclude with a solution to the problem. So I would like to give, I will not take the name, लेकिन किसी ने soft drink के ऊपर किया था. So instead of taking the hypothesis as only gender, तो male ज़्यादा prefer करते हैं soft drinks over female. Okay, very casual hypothesis, very common sense hypothesis. The influence would have been more or researchable if you would have taken age. And then you have put association. So association word हम लोग chi-square के लिए use करते हैं. So there are certain terminologies, there are certain things that you should know what to use when you are talking about research. So parametric test use करते हैं, non-parametric use करते हैं, तो उसके लिए कुछ terminologies है जो हम लोगों ने ध्यान में रखना चाहिए. So normally जब हम लोग chi-square use करते हैं, that time we use the word association. So research अलग-अलग category करता है. When you want to try, when you want to show the relation, when you want to show the difference, when you want to show the association. तो हर चीज के लिए ना अलग-अलग टेस्ट है. तो कौन सा वर्ड तुम कौन से टेस्ट के लिए यूज करते हो नल हाइपोथेसिस के लिए, that is also equally important. So I would like to say that तुम्हारे लिए एक एडवांटेज भी है कि कंप्यूटराइजेशन या नेट या इतना सारा फैसिलिटीज अवेलेबल है, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ एक डिसएडवांटेज भी है कि अवेयरनेस ज्यादा हो रहा है रिसर्च का और रिसर्च टर्मिनोलॉजीज का. So you have to be very well acquainted by yourself with this research terminologies when you are saying that. So this is overall which I wanted to say. एक ज्यादा बर्डन मेरे ऊपर डाल दिया है अन्नालीला कॉलेज ने कि बेस्ट पेपर करने का, that I will be communicating to you. But all the best for your research. रिसर्च करते वक्त एक फॉर्मेट ध्यान में रखो, like I told you कि टाइटल, ऑब्जेक्टिव, स्कोप, लिमिटेशंस, हाइपोथेसिस और तुम्हारा फाइंडिंग, सजेशन एंड कंक्लूजन, एंड तुम्हारा जो भी एनालिसिस तुमने किया उसको अच्छे से इंटरप्रेट करो. और ये सब को इम्पोर्टेंस कब आएगा? जब तुम प्रॉब्लम के ऊपर फोकस करते हो. सिर्फ डेटा कलेक्शन करना, इंफॉर्मेशन गैदर करना रिसर्च नहीं है. बी वेरी कंसेप्चुअल क्लियर कि मैं इस प्रॉब्लम के बारे में बात कर रही हूँ कि कम एज के बच्चे सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक पीते हैं, या टैक्स प्लानिंग ये एज के बच्चों में नहीं है, या ट्रांजिट एडवर्टाइजिंग में क्या प्रॉब्लम है और उसको कैसे सॉल्व किया जा सकता है. तो ना हर एक में टॉपिक लेके बता सकती हूँ कि क्या प्रॉब्लम है एग्जैक्टली. तो वो प्रॉब्लम के ऊपर परसेप्शन में भी क्या नेगेटिव परसेप्शन है जिसको हम पॉजिटिव कर सकते हैं. वेदर यू आर स्टडिंग अबाउट अवेयरनेस, वेदर यू आर स्टडिंग अबाउट परसेप्शन, वेदर यू आर स्टडिंग अबाउट प्रेफरेंस, फोकस ऑन द प्रॉब्लम. बिकॉज प्रॉब्लम नहीं है तो वो रिसर्च नहीं है. एज क्लियर एज दैट. सो बी वेरी फोकस्ड, बी वेरी क्लियर कि तुम किस प्रॉब्लम के बारे में बात कर रहे हो, और पूरा तुम्हारा जो स्टडी है, तुम्हारा जो रिसर्च है, वो प्रॉब्लम का सोल्यूशन निकालने के ऊपर होना चाहिए. एक्चुअली 10 मिनट्स तो मैंने भी पार नहीं करना चाहिए. एक लास्ट टिप तुम लोगों को प्रेजेंटेशन के ऊपर देना चाहूंगी कि नॉर्मली 4 चीज होते हैं जहां पे हम लोग मार्क्स देते हैं. तुम्हारा टॉपिक जो तुमने चूज किया है वो बहुत ही घिसा पिटा रटा हुआ है या नया है, कुछ अलग है. देन योर पीपीटी स्लाइड्स जो तुम बना रहे हो वो कैसा है, हाउ यू आर प्रेजेंटिंग, कितना कंफर्टेबल हो तुम लोग प्रेजेंटेशन के ऊपर, एंड टाइम मैनेजमेंट. तो ये ब्रॉडली 4 बेसिक कैटेगरीज है. कुछ टीचर्स और भी कुछ उसमें लेते रहेंगे, तो ये भी तुम लोगों ने ध्यान रखना चाहिए व्हेन यू आर मेकिंग योर प्रेजेंटेशन. रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी आना ही चाहिए तुम्हारे इसमें. तुम लोग बोलोगे कि मैडम 10 मिनट्स में करना है इसलिए हम लोगों ने उसमें इंक्लूड नहीं किया, लेकिन हमारे पूरा पेपर में है. लेकिन जो तुम्हारे पूरे पेपर में है वो तुम लोगों ने बताना भी चाहिए. वो कितने फास्ट बताना चाहिए, किसको कितना स्पीड और कितना टाइम देना चाहिए, वही तो टाइम मैनेजमेंट है. तो तुमने सिर्फ ऑब्जेक्टिव्स बता दिया, फाइंडिंग्स बता दिया, वहां पे एंड नहीं होता है. तुम्हारा मेथोडोलॉजी तो समझे, तुम्हें पता तो चले तुमने कौन से एरिया से रिस्पोंडेंट्स लिए हैं, कौन सा एरिया फोकस किया है, तुम्हारा मेथोडोलॉजी क्या था, तुमने क्या किया है. तुम लोग बैकग्राउंड बिना बताए तुम डायरेक्ट फाइंडिंग्स और कंक्लूजन पे जाओगे तो नहीं चलेगा. सो दिस इज ऑल व्हाट आई वांटेड टू शेयर, एंड थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर गिविंग मी दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी to have a word with you, to be a part. And I am always there. Annalila is very close to my heart. Many of the teachers are very much known to me, and they are excellent researcher as far as I know. And all the best to the staff for organizing such a wonderful conference in future also. And this conference was also very well and very nicely organized. Heartiest congratulations to the management, principal, vice principal, and all the staff members, organizing committee. And special thanks to Pritesh for not only inviting me, but also giving my introduction. And thank you all, Kiran, Nitin, everyone. And I can see some delegates also, Suraya, Sneha, all known to me, even Subhashini. All the very best for your research. All the best. Thank you so much for inviting me here. Thank you. I hope whatever insight I gave would be helpful to you for your further research work. All the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being there and again adding something new. every session of your, at least one thing, definitely we get to learn something new. Thank you. Thank you so
Actually,
much, ma'am.
yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Should I take your leave?
Thank you so much,
A
ma'am.
minute,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much, ma'am. I'm sure your guidance has enlightened all our delegates and they would incorporate your suggestions. I, Ms. Diti Shah, on behalf of Anna Leela College of Commerce and Economics, would like to take this opportunity to show our gratitude towards our resource person, Dr. Kishori Bhagat, for taking out time, guiding our delegates, and giving such valuable suggestions. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. I take your leave. All the
Thank you.
best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
We hereby end the first technical session. The second technical session would start at 2 p.m. All the delegates are requested to join the same link. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so